Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for tarot scopes again. We're going to be doing tarot scopes for the sign of Gemini. That's Gemini Sun, Moon, Rising for the month of April 2024. Before we get there, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Thank you for joining this wonderful group of like-minded souls. For my tried and true who have been with me for years, I appreciate walking the path with you. For my new members of my YouTube membership, welcome to the channel. Thank you. Thank you. I know many of you have been with me for years. Thank you for your support. I'll make an announcement at the end of the video about the channel and about the levels. And then to my Patreon folks who have also been with me for years, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being with me. All right, so we're going to get into the astrology first. And then we'll see how it applies to Gemini, and then we'll do the card reading and a oracle pull. So let's jump right into it. All right. So just have a little patience so I can get to um, the right spot here. Okay. Okay. So what we're looking at is the tree of life in the middle. Each one of these circles or Sephiroth symbolize a planet, or in the case of Kether up here, two planets. Neptune and Pluto. But these are the signs that those planets are in. And we also have the three vibrations that we're working with this month. Numerologically, the 4 vibration, which is we're in the 4th month, of course. The Emperor is an Aries energy, and it's located here on the Tree of Life between the Sephiroth of Uranus, the Great Awakener, and the Sun, which is our life purpose. We are getting awakened to our life purpose. How about that? This is about dominion. It's about clear seeing. This is clairvoyance. So you may be seeing things that some people, most of us have some sort of clair that we work with, clairsentience, um, clairaudient, clairvoyance, clear knowing, right? Um, but when this path gets activated, and of course we have a lot of Aries energy also activating this path, even if it wasn't the 4th month and all the stuff was in Aries that it is, this gets activated. So we'll be seeing things that perhaps uh, may go, oh, I didn't realize I could do that, but here I go. So you're probably not seeing things. You can believe what you're seeing in your third eye, as it were. We have the 9 vibration, which is the universal year vibration. 2025 is a 9 year. 9 is about forgiveness. It's about sharing your wisdom. It's about separating the wheat from the chaff. It's about humanitarianism, compassion. Okay, all things sorely needed on this planet right now. And then if you add these 2 vibrations together, the month and the year, we get the 13-4, which is specific for April. This is the death card. This is actually a Scorpio card. It's about letting go and rebirth. So it's not just about letting go and then there's nothing beyond that. New opportunities come in once you allow yourself to let go. All 3 of these paths where we find these cards are located. These paths connect to the pillar of the past to the pillar of the present moment. So this is a really powerful month for bringing forth information from the past. And that could be past lives, right? Oh, I feel like I was a healer in a past life. Well, that information is coming through this month. Okay, and also this year because of the 9 vibration, because this is going to stay constant all year. And Hesed, which is the Sephiroth of Jupiter, is associated with uh, the Akashic records. So we all have maybe more access to the Akashic records now this year than we have had before. All right, so we look at the astrology. We start with the first aspect happening is an important one. It's on the 3rd. It's a sextile of Saturn and Uranus. The reason it's so important is that this is a point of progressive change and moving in the direction of Aquarian ideals. And it's especially important because we're dealing with Uranus and Saturn. These are two slower moving planets. This is actually part of a 45-year cycle that began in the late 80s. And so now we're coming to understand what was planted at that time, the seed that was planted at that time, and what we've learned from it and how it can create a better society. We also have Mars sextile Uranus on that day. This is also a sextile of progressive change, but the Mars-Uranus cycle is 2 years. So this is a much more after many years, we come to an understanding. This is like what happened like 2 years ago. We kind of get it now, right? Okay. On the 6th, we have the Sun sextile Jupiter. Sun, Jupiter, sextile opens the lines of communication, but this is a waning sextile, so it has that Aquarian energy. It's about learning, it's about the wisdom, and it's about sharing the wisdom. So this is a wonderful time to share your wisdom. Plus it activates that 9 path. On the 7th, we have Mercury, which started the month retrograde, turned direct in the sign of Pisces. At the same time, Venus makes a conjunction to Saturn. Venus is still retrograde at this point. This happens in Pisces as well. So we have this shift of energy in the sign of Pisces. On the 8th, Venus sextiles Uranus. On the 12th, we have Venus stationing direct. So, and we also have a full moon in Libra. Interestingly enough, Libra is a Venus ruled sign. And then so is Taurus when the sun moves into Taurus. That's also a Venus ruled sign. So what's going on with Venus is quite important this month. On the 16th, Mercury, now that it's moving forward, ingresses back into Aries, and the next day it makes a conjunction to Neptune. This may give us a hint as to what we'll see or what the potential is for 2026. Okay, so keep your third eye open on that at that time. April 18th, Mars re-enters Leo. Leo, of course, Mars has been retrograde. It started its retrograde in Leo, moved back into Cancer on the 6th of January, turned around on the 23rd of February, and then moved through Cancer. Moved through Cancer direct for the end of February, all of March, and the first, the first 17 days of April. Mars in Cancer is very emotional, can be angry, frustrated, worried about security. Once it moves into Leo, it has a different energy. It's more the energy of leadership. And so you may sort of refocus or reconnect with the leader within. Now, it's not out of its retrograde shadow yet. It has to get to 7 degrees before it'll do that. And it doesn't actually do that, I think, until May. But all the same, it's moving forward. And so you're not going to feel like you're treading water. You're not going to feel like, you try to move forward, but that idea of them keep moving the goalposts will not move. You will. Okay. April 19th, the sun ingresses into Taurus. That's lovely. It's a lovely day. That might even be Earth Day, actually, or the 20th. Usually it's right around here, the 19th or the 20th. And there's a beautiful trine between Mars and Neptune. This is the dancing trine. That's what I call the ballet trine, or the dancer who leaps into the air, making it look so graceful and so easy. But he can't do that without that muscular control, right? And all that strength. So it's grace and strength, grace and strength. On the 20th, Venus, now moving forward, meets up with Uranus again, makes that waning sextile, bringing forth humanitarian ideals, raising all boats, right? The power to the people. At the same time, Mercury makes a sextile to Pluto. This is a deep dive and looking into things and researching things very deeply. It's the deep mind to get information. And we have the sun make a last quarter square to Mars. The last quarter square in its nature is rebellious. And so the sun can be ego and Mars can be desire. And so there can be a clash of that at this time. On the 21st, Saturn conjoins the north node of the moon. The north node of the moon now is in Pisces. Saturn is in Pisces, comes across to the north node, sort of sets a vision for the future. But because it's Saturn, it might look like a grim future. But of course, it's also a possibility of something different, right? If we utilize our compassion, if we utilize those Pisces energies of compassion and love thy neighbor as thyself, like the ideals of Jesus. Like that would be helpful, right? Somebody tell the Christian nationalists about Jesus, okay? All right. We have on the 23rd, the sun make a first quarter square to Pluto. This is a crisis in action square. Pluto is the soul, the sun is illumination. It perhaps the soul shows us what we need to build upon. April 24th, Venus makes another conjunction to Saturn because now it's moving forward, right? Um, and then on the 26th, Mars opposes Pluto. This is the last of 3 exact oppositions. The first one happened on the 3rd of November of last year, 2 days before the election. The second one happened on either the 1st or 2nd of January. I think it depended on where you were. And this last one happens April 26th. Oppositions bring awareness, and this is going to bring more awareness to what transpired from that, original opposition to this one. And a lot has gone, I mean, to say that it's been nuts from there to here would be the understatement of the century, right? So a lot has happened, a lot has been exposed, a lot has come out. And so now we get to work with all the information and see what we're going to do at that point. April 27th, we have a new moon in Taurus. And then April 30th, Venus finally moves back into Aries. Now she's not out of her shadow either, but she is moving forward and she's in the garb of Aries. So she's in her warrior. She's expressing her warrior nature. And that's how the month ends. All right, so let's see how this affects you specifically, Gemini. All right, we can see that most of the energy in your chart is in this section of the chart. This is the outer world. This is how you impress your unique self in the larger world. So very public place. Okay, so a lot of publicity. Perhaps people are seeing what's going on. Let's see, where do we want to start? Mercury. So let's start with Mercury because you're a Mercury ruled sign. Of course, we start the month with Mercury retrograde in Pisces. In your 10th house, there's probably some issues in your 10th house, your career, your house of career. There may be some challenges in communication, very emotional stuff happening. You do have the North Node in Pisces here, Gemini, and so you're being asked to bring that Piscean energy out into the world, So then Mercury does move into your 11th house in Aries. Did I say? Yeah, in Aries. That's a lot more fun for you. That's working it within groups, having new goals. It's good energy. Venus here starts the month retrograde in Pisces in your 10th house. Although Venus retrograde also can bring stress to relationships at work. It is in Pisces, so it's still exalted, but it can be confusing and people can be saying things, it's not clear. Once she starts to move forward, it's going to be much better. She starts moving forward on the 7th. No, that's Mercury. Sorry. I have it here. Where is it? Mercury ingress. Should be right here. Venus. Venus stations on the 12th. That's right. The full moon. So the full moon day, Venus stations direct. So Venus stations direct in Pisces. That's nice. And then Venus moves into Aries, ready to take on the world. Okay. The sun starts the month in the 11th house. So focus on friends, focus on goals. This is also the House of the Congress. So maybe if you're somebody who's into politics or pays attention to politics, you'll be seeing how things like the Congress and the Senate work. And then it moves into, then this, when the sun moves into Taurus, moves into your 12th house. It's a little bit of a respite. This is like the rest before the sun moves into Gemini and you really get your energy. The sun also illuminates, and the 12th house is kind of the hidden house. Sometimes even you don't know what's going on in the 12th house. But with the sun there, you may see things. Also, you may become aware of some ways in which you undo yourself. You could also become aware of some hidden enemies. Hidden enemies. Let's see. Uranus is still there. It's been there for a while. And you do have a new moon in Taurus in that 12th house, planting the seeds for your spiritual understanding, perhaps. That's also a 12th house energy. Jupiter is now direct in your sign, moving through that first house, expanding your sense of self. It can also expand your waistline. I think I've said this before, so just be aware of that. Mars finally moving direct now since February, but moving in Cancer, which is not, it's better than Mars retrograde, I guess, in Cancer, but it is moving through Cancer. And a lot of emotions, feelings, perhaps some anger around issues of resources, right? So, and maybe putting a lot of energy into acquiring resources. Then Mars will move into Leo, and then move into that third house, which will sort of stimulate your minds, which of course you love because you're a Gemini. But there can be some anger in your neighborhood. Maybe even just people trying to take the lead, and there's too many chiefs and not enough Indians kind of energy with that. We have a full moon in the sign of Libra. That's happening on the 12th, the same day that Venus goes direct. And it's in your house of love. So you might see an illumination around, or your children. It could be your children. Full moons are also points of like separation. So it is a decision time when you want to decide if you want to continue with something or if you want to end it. Fifth house issues can be children, creative projects, self-expression. So decisions will be made. And they do sort of, it is about relationship. It is about how you're relating to your own creations here, your own creations, how you relate to your creations. All right, and there's Pluto up there in the 9th house. We'll be there for 19 years, so plenty of time to talk about that. But it is in a fellow air sign, so that eases a little bit because it's been in Capricorn for so long, and Capricorn in conjuncts your sign, and that can be irritating. So now that we have it in the trine to your sign, it's a little bit much more palatable, but it also like increases your knowledge base like astronomically. So you definitely want to be taking care of your nervous system through this period. Just in general, well, 19 years of Pluto in Aquarius. We need to take care of our nervous system no matter what, right? Okay. All right. So let me do a reading. Did I pick a deck? I think I picked a deck yet. Oh, I think I'll pick this deck. I think I decided, but I didn't take it out. All right. Excuse me here. Okay, we're going to use the Arcanum deck, which is awful pretty. It's a pretty deck. All right. So, what does Gemini need to be aware of? What does Gemini to be aware of? And these cards can apply to also people, people in the news kind of thing too. Like this is a Gemini reading, so there are a couple of Geminis in the news. The 47th president is a Gemini. Leon has a Gemini rising. Kamala Harris has a Gemini rising and a North Node in Gemini. Vance has a North Node in Gemini. So, this could be reflective of a lot of people. So, But this is your reading, so I'm going to read it like that. And you could extrapolate for the rest of the world if you want. All right. I like that. I felt good. Let's see what's up for Gemini. Things are happening fast. Boy, you're on the road. You are galloping away. Now, this card talks of being on your soul's path. So there's that, but lots of fast movement, moving forward very, very quickly. What challenges that is the devil. Okay, things that you're attached to, your attachments. Okay. But the attachments that you have that keep you from your light. So this is really almost like a soul battle going on for you, Gemini. Okay. But you will come up against, it'll be very evident who the enemy is here. Okay. It'll be very evident who the enemy is. Let's see what's underneath it. A new beginning, the Ace of Wands, wanting to start something new. Now, this Ace of Wands in the system I use is actually a 27-9 vibration. So it does have the 9 energy in it. It's highly creative. It's highly humanitarian. But it is an ending and a new beginning. So something may have to come to an end first before you have the opportunity to take the staff of life. It could be that whatever that enemy is that's in the way of your evolution, of your growth as a soul. Let's see what's in the past. You've been kind of in a semi-meditative state, sort of hiding away, perhaps necessary to calm the mind. Didn't I say something about you have to watch your nervous system? I feel like you've been attending to that. So I like seeing that. You've been somewhat isolated, but I think that it's been good for you. I think it's been good for you. In the sky, we have the Tower. Now, remember I said there are some people who have this Gemini energy in their chart that are not you. Okay. So the Tower requires us to be our true selves. It actually shows us who we truly are, right? And so this is in the sky, it is in the outer world. And so it seems like the outer world is going through a tower moment, a tower moment. And you could be in, we're all involved in it, and we all have it, we're all at a different place. But for you, Gemini, it's pretty significant, with the chariot crossed by the devil and sort of crowned by the tower. Okay. This is a reality, come to Jesus, looking at things clearly kind of time. In the immediate future, yeah, well, I would bet you're anxious. I would bet you're anxious. Watch your nervous system, take care of it. This is nightmares. So you might have some trouble sleeping. But you have to find a way to meditation, binaural beats, whatever you have to do to calm yourself. Calm yourself. This is actually a Gemini card. Don't invest in the worst case scenario. Don't say, oh, oh my God, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. Don't do that. Just step back from it. Step back from it. Let the energy work its way without you putting a thought, an idea, or how it's gonna manifest itself. How it's seen from the outside, a balancing and a temperance. So this ultimately, all this tower stuff and all of that is a rebalancing of things. Domestic situation, the hermit. So you may find yourself hermiting away at home. You may be on the lookout for a mentor, or your mentor might actually be at home with you. So, but that's a wisdom. It's internal. It's also forgiveness. There could be somebody in your home that you need to feel a sense of forgiveness and healing with. The light that you shine is the light of your own heart. You could also feel alone at home. You could feel like you're all by yourself. Now, you may actually be all by yourself. Maybe your kids just moved out and now you're an empty nester, so it's possible that you are alone at this time. Hopes and fears, the high priestess, that's something that is hidden will come out. Now, I know some Geminis who might not like that. So that might be their fear. But it's about the information coming out, the information coming out. And the outcome, the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is, the Knights are all about the action of the element. And so this is the action of spirit. So this is about taking your staff, right? The staff that was handed to you and traveling with it, going about, around and about. I always feel like there's a little bit of a proselytizing energy with this, and that's not necessarily a bad energy. Sharing what you know, taking the actions on spirit, saying, what should I do today? And then say, Spirit, what should I do today? And waiting to listen. And when Spirit gives you your marching orders, you take them, right? Okay. And then we have the Magician, which is about intention and power. And focus. So what you focus on becomes your reality, a reminder, especially when a lot of the month is spent worrying. So do your best not to do that if you can. Underneath it all is illusion, Seven of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles, which is about your resources, feeling safe, feeling secure. And then the Wheel of Fortune, a change in fortune. So when I see this, and I'm not talking to the Geminis out there, I'm talking to a specific Gemini, two, in fact, one with a Gemini ascendant and one who's a Gemini. This is illusion and delusion. This is oligarchy, and this is change. So the jig's up. Okay. All right, let's take a look at, I'm also doing one of these, excuse me. This is like a summer thing, and I'm like, because it's not summer, and I feel like I should have more clothes on. All right. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Let's pick a card for Gemini. So this is from a deck, Spriit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. That's what the little booklet looks like. And we have Lion Spirit. Hear me roar. Okay. Be generous of spirit. I know somebody is not gonna like that. Oh my God. Okay, I'll hold it up. All right, pretty lion. That's redundant, isn't it? Aren't all lions like glorious? Okay, it's why they call him the king of the beasts. A healthy ego means you ease God's order instead of edging God out. Lion spirit appearance is a reminder that you have been given the gift of pride and a healthy sense of your worth to express your divine authentic self in a unique way. You are both the king and the queen, secure in your prosperity and wisdom, and generous of spirit as you help others. Take pride in your ability to serve from, sorry, the heart. Leo the lion-hearted, right? Um, Contentment with what you have right now allows you to use your resources wisely as you give to others in ways that educate, heal, inspire, and delight. Be proud yet humble, practice gratitude, and you will find that the accolades that come to you, no matter for the joy of knowing what you have been able to do for others through expressing the bounty of generosity within you. Lion Spirit knows there is a great savannah before you, and many will benefit from the healthy expression of your unique set of gifts if you choose to work in partnership with Spirit. All your relationships flourish as you express your worth and generosity of spirit with humility and kindness. What blessing can you be offered for all? There you go. Lion. All right. So just one more word about my membership. I have 2 levels of membership for YouTube membership. I have the Starlets, and that's the lower level, and then we have the little higher level, which is the Star Seekers. That level will get a little more like meaty astrology stuff, almost like classroom energy. I'm going to be doing lives on. I'm going to be doing lives for everybody, and some readings. And as I get more comfortable with having a membership and realizing what I need to do, like I'm still sort of in the learning phase of this, so please have patience with me. But we'll get some really good stuff, and there'll be plenty of stuff. If you can't be a member, there's plenty of things and offerings that come from this channel, so you will not be without me in any way, shape, or form. So have yourself a great month, everyone, and I'll see you again next month, May, my favorite month. Take care, everyone. Namaste.